Hey, welcome back, everyone. We're on another episode of In the Community with Dr. Matt. And today we actually have a special guest, Val. So, Val Curitan, who's here joining us today. And we're going to talk about her special project and her business, Bent Tree Arts. But we're also going to see what she's working on. And she has some ideas for us in terms of the Ronald McDonald House and our fundraiser. So, hey, Val.
Hi there, how are you?
Good. How's everybody doing there?
We're doing well. We're all isolating as we should and trying to keep busy and my son's back from uni, obviously, and so that's new adventures every day.
Of course. I guess he finished his exams remotely. Is that how it
He
went?
did.
Yeah.
Yes, so his last exam was last Friday. So now it's time to keep busy, look for the jobs that he can
Yeah.
get and try and kind of keep himself occupied. So
Of
and make some
course.
money. I mean, he's a university student, so they're all kind of out there in the
Looking.
same boat. Yeah, so prayers go out to all the uni kids who are sort of in this uncertain time. So
Yeah. Nothing's gonna get better. I just
absolutely.
yeah, I remember April, May. It was such a like special time, hit and miss with the weather. And I always reflect back on like warm sunshine and going into like summer school. Like I always enjoyed summer school. And then Sarah, like my wife, she always worked in the summer, right? But I remember those days like they were yesterday. I'm
Yeah.
sure he's having fun. So, what's your business about? First of all, what are you about, and who are you? Before we talk about the business side of things.
Right. So as you said, I'm Val, and I am basically what they call a sole proprietor. I have my own business called Bent Tree Arts. Bent Tree Arts was born because I love the up north. A lot of my artwork kind of reflects that. So I'm a practicing artist, but I also do workshops and try to sort of come up with programs for people who are looking for artistic outlets, but not necessarily want to take a class or learn how to paint or learn how to draw technically. It's more about art for the masses.
Okay.
And I just really thrive on people getting together around a table. So I'm crying a little bit right now, but getting around and gathering and having sort of conversations about what it is they're doing. The activities that I offer are basically very, very rudimentary, but they have a lot of meaning attached to them. So that's kind of how Bent Tree Arts operates. All soul artists have a sideline. It's a job in the arts is not necessarily the highest paying job. So most of us have side hustles or, different types of ways that we flex our creative muscles, but
Of
in
course.
different ways. So yeah.
Neat. And so, really, I think it's just some of our past interviews. You don't have to be an artist. Like it's more about expression and tapping into a person than it is necessarily about being an artist or artistic, right? Like you basically tap into people's emotions and getting them to express that in some way, shape, or form, whether it's painting. What was it? What we did last year with the glue and the picture? I still have it up in my office.
Nice.
Remember?
So yes, exactly. Yeah, it was very good as well,
Yeah.
Dr. Matt. I loved it. Yeah, so that art journaling episode that we did was kind of an introductory. So there's two ways that in my workshops, if I'm looking at the workshop part of my business, there's two ways to kind of approach what you're doing. There's a technique that actually there is a few that you would learn, but anybody can learn. And then where we kind of branch off from the technical is thinking about the ways you can use this idea of art journaling in your life. And there are various groups out there on Facebook. There's tribes and communities that are formed around art journaling, and basically it's people just messing around with paint and their markers and their glues,
Right.
and that sharing of ideas. So what I really enjoy is more the personal connection. So having done workshops now for almost 10 years,
Wow.
um, something happens when people are together and creating. So this can be applied to your own family in isolation right now, or going out when we're allowed to go out into the community again. So, and it's this thing called a creative hum,
Right.
and it's real, and people tap into that. So what happens is people are very tentative. If they've never approached an art project before, they're very tentative, and they tend to go, okay, well, I want to do this perfectly. So we check all those ideas of being perfect, and we concentrate on the here and the now, and just being in others' company and focusing on something that is sort of engaging, but also, you know, you're exchanging ideas as you go. So, and it's the creative hum happens in those group situations.
Okay.
So I have a couple of recommendations that we'll talk about in a little bit in terms of
Yes.
how you can engage those in your household to come together. So lots of people are playing games. That's perfect. That actually creates all kinds of wonderful vibes. And the other part of it is, you know, when you're playing, say, a card game, or you're baking cookies together. I know there's a lot of that going on with some of the families
Yeah.
with kids, because sometimes hitting all the curriculum buttons isn't working right now. So taking a
Maybe
break
something
from
different.
the formal schooling. Yeah. So kudos to all those parents out there who
Yeah.
are doing this homeschooling thing. I'm just like, I'm so amazed. And they're all, you know, just rooting for the kids and trying to get them through that year, with the teachers doing, you know, their support as well. So this activity would be something suited to, you could do with sort of your family.
So
You could
the,
do it on your own if you want to escape from
of
sort of the day
course.
routines of the day.
But you think that it's more about the energy in the room and the hum, as you call it, the creative hum, and
It
getting
works.
together,
Yeah.
socializing at the same time as putting together art.
Yeah. So some of the
I like that.
conversations that happen when you're actually concentrating on an activity such as art. So when maybe I could back up a little bit and compare it
Sure.
to playing a game. So
Right.
when you're playing a game, you have rules, and everybody takes their turns, and that's very critical for, you know, just learning as a family and having fun and blowing off steam as well. Some of the biggest belly laughs you get are usually around the Monopoly table or something like
Yeah.
that. This is different because everyone's kind of doing their own thing, but they're doing it together. And
Okay.
so, and that's where the freedom comes from, is that, so as a parent, you can be beside your child, for instance, or maybe you have an elder in the home too, who's like, they think they're probably so beyond playing with crayons. I'm sorry, but everybody
Hey,
can play with
I
crayons.
still like playing with crayons.
Yeah,
Come on.
exactly.
Yeah.
And that modeling that behavior to families is one of the kind of the side benefits. So
Right.
when we model together for our kids, they're saying, okay, so, you know, there's no, art has no boundaries in terms of who's doing what. So, you know, mom does this kind of work, dad does that, other dad does that, whatever your family dynamic is, there's no preconceived notion about kind of what you're doing, right?
Okay.
So the cool thing about some activities that you can be doing with your family is that it doesn't require a lot of materials
Okay.
from your home as well. It's just kind of your regular art box materials, for instance. And hopefully, you know, there's all kinds of things lying around the house that you don't
That you can
actually look
use.
at as art materials that you can use.
Okay. So are you gonna, do you want to show us an idea or an example of what you're working on?
Yeah. So, because of the times we're in, I thought it would be kind of cool to demonstrate some projects that you can do with kids that are tiny. So a lot of
Okay.
people get a little nervous about paints coming out in their households. I'm sure everybody by now has like tablecloths and sheets everywhere.
Yes.
But some people are a little bit nervous about the larger projects.
Okay.
So what I have for you guys today, just to look at and as inspiration for maybe some other project as well, are affirmation tags. So I
Okay.
did this
I
with
like
my
that.
own family. So we get together on Zoom, and our family is very multi-generational. So all of the smaller children in my life are all great nieces and great nephews. And then we have kind of everybody in between. So what I did was I mailed them out some materials so that they could kind of have a look and feel about what we were talking about when we had our Zoom family meeting.
Okay.
So, but I think for visual purposes, I've got some examples here. So the whole idea about affirmation tags is seeing them every day. So the
Repetition on
messages,
your
yeah.
neurology. Yeah, I can appreciate that.
So So one of the ones that hangs in my bathroom, and this is called an affirmation tag. So this hangs in my bathroom, just making sure that we have a good side.
I like
So
that.
it's going to be okay. When I brush my teeth every morning, and everybody should be brushing their teeth every morning. When I brush my teeth every morning, I know everything's going to be
Yeah.
okay. Right? So you ask what this is. It's just basically, this is a clothing tag. Let's see, get in the shot there. So
Oh
there's a clothing
yeah.
tag, right? So clothing tags already come with a little hole in the top. I'm just making sure I get this in the shot here. I'm
Yeah.
really new at this, kind of demonstrating on Zoom. There we go. So there's the little
Cool.
top. This is, just make sure you can see
So
it,
you've
Dr. Matt.
totally repurposed
So,
something,
yeah. So
which
we
is
have some
neat.
little beads, and we have some leftover wire from around the house to make the hanger. So I'm just going to pull that back for a longer shot. There we go.
Cool.
Okay. So
Yeah.
having the tags, though, is really cool because you can hang them on your bedroom mirror. You can hang them on your front door.
I
You can
like that.
hang them anywhere where you want to see some kind of message. So, and you know, this is very much sort of an age and stage thing. So
Yeah.
this is one I made for myself. So it's just made out of paints, and I glued on some papers, painted over, printed something out on my printer, and glued it down. I mean, it's as simple as that. But it's tiny, so it's not going to be taking up, you know, my entire dining room table when I'm working on this project. However,
Perfect.
we can also kind of look at things for an age and stage level. So here's the one for the little toddlers. So little toddlers, they don't really
Oh
need a lot of
yeah.
positivity. They just need to, like, you know, be toddlers and
See
be
their name.
themselves.
See their name.
So
Yeah.
just the name and some stickers on there. We even just use tape if you don't want to be getting, you know, glue
The
everywhere,
glue.
although glue is fun. I'm not gonna lie. So just the little one for the toddlers, so they can actually have their own. So toddlers are very egocentric, so they like to see their name everywhere, and
Oh
that's a
yeah.
positive affirmation for them, right?
Yeah.
And then we've got one for sort of the middle stages. So sometimes just stating what you miss the most. I'm not sure how that's going to show up on the shot, but I
Oh,
have
it's
my little
like
screen there. Am
it's
I
clear.
good?
It's good. Yeah.
Okay,
Looking
yeah.
forward to swimming
So
with my dog.
yeah. So
I
we've
love that.
got scrapbook paper. So if you don't have any labels, but you are a scrapbooker or you just have scrap paper hanging around.
Right.
So this kind of reinforces I'm really, you know, sort of looking forward to swimming with my dog. And that can also, that message of hope and looking forward to tomorrow,
Yeah.
really, really powerful stuff. We can go really super basic.
This too shall
So
pass. This will
yeah,
pass. I
it
like
can go in
that.
your car, it can go anywhere, right? So
Yeah.
whenever we're kind of looking at challenges in the face, sometimes just having that in front of you is great. So
I think that would be a great activity, like in terms of the positive affirmations, especially right now, you know, spend the
yeah,
morning with the kids, you know, repurposing materials and coming up with their favorite affirmations.
yeah, absolutely. And it also it's a little way for parents to sort of discover maybe what's going on in the back of their minds too, because
Yeah.
sometimes kids are pretty resilient and they adapt pretty easily. But if there's something that, you know, they want to discuss, it's a great way for them to sort of express it and maybe not show you the word, actually speak the words, but they're showing you through their actions. So
Indirectly.
so it's a great way to sort of monitor what's going on with them, and again
It
with
is.
the elders as well, right? So
Oh
if you're
yeah.
doing an activity with someone you live with in your household and they're really nervous, and they have every right to be nervous right now, given the current health climate, that, you know, it's going to be a prompt for discussion and say, you know what, we're going to do what we can to keep you safe, and as with everybody, but you
Yeah.
know, so those kind of conversations can happen. The sort of the
So
daddy of all
it
those
brings a
tags.
dialogue out
Yeah.
too. Sorry, I
Oh,
didn't mean to go.
absolutely.
Yeah, which I think is crucial, right? Because a lot of times, you know, you just hold things inside and you don't have an opportunity to talk about them, but it almost creates an opportunity, especially probably for people with teenagers. This would
That
be
too,
really
yeah.
good. Yeah,
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 yeah, that's your great point. There's that whole group that are, you know, they're just trying to figure their way out and not always communicating as maybe they
yeah.
could. So yeah. So
Neat.
yeah, we can go one bigger, and
Yeah, let's
that
see it.
is the idea of a collage. So this could be for, and it's a little bit like what we did in the exercise with you, Dr. Matt, last
Oh,
year.
yeah.
So you can just go big time and get a whole big page, and
Yeah, I could see a
so
picture
this
of my kid like
is,
that.
yeah, there you go. So this is
Oh,
love wins, right? So yay, love
yeah.
wins. So that's just, magazine cutouts and little odds and sods stickers and things like that. If you're a parent, you usually have all kinds of that kind of stuff
Oh yeah.
lying around. So the bigger idea with that is just, if you don't want to do something small where you're going to hang it, you just want to do it for yourself. It's just a really fun activity to do.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I like that. I think that's, especially, during right now, I think that's amazing. Like in terms of ideas and things to do, we're kind of running out of things unless you go Googling or looking it up, right? But I think this is so simple. I just put it together. And I mean, people can contact you if they're looking for ideas, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm on. I have a website, so we're
Yep.
going to be posting the details. I think there's a website, Instagram, Facebook. Just message me, and even if you have a project idea and you don't really know where to start, I can certainly sort of help folks out with that as well.
You'd love to hear about
Yeah.
it.
Oh yeah, I love collaborating with folks for sure.
Yeah.
And if you're wanting specific instructions, I can also help you by sending something out. But the cool
Neat.
thing is that we want to share what we're making as well. So don't be shy. If you want to post something on your own social media, we're kind of collaborating here, and that
Yeah.
is you tag Bent Tree Arts, so the details will be with the meeting.
Oh,
You tag me on Instagram or on Facebook, and for every picture that you post on your own social media and you tag me, we're going to donate. Bent Tree Arts is going to donate $5 towards the Ronald McDonald House. So that's for every posting. So get
neat.
posting, guys,
I
because
love
that way
it.
we can raise some funds for Ronald McDonald House. So
I appreciate that, Val. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Yeah. So for that, you want people to go and make their artwork, and you want them to post a picture of it, whether it's on their stories or their main feed, and make sure they tag Bent Tree Arts. And I'll put the exact way to spell that and everything on the bottom of this post in the captions. Cool.
Perfect.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to add?
I think that just the message is pretty simple. Like you're saying, keep it simple, and just share your art, share it with your family, share it on social media if you're of that, if you want to do that, yeah, just be together. I mean,
Yeah.
we're spending a lot of time together, but there's sort of different ways that we can sort of spend the time and actually kind of get something out of it as well. So, but anytime spending time with family is
It's
it's
good.
golden.
Yeah. I love it. Thanks for sharing.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And thanks for being a guest today. I appreciate it. To our
Welcome.
listeners out there, make sure, I'd love to hear in your comments below what you're working on and how you're going to start and when you're going to start. So we'd love to hear it. Say a little "I'm in" if you're going to do the project, and then leave it in the comments below, and as well tag it when you do your project, and I'll leave the details in the caption below. Otherwise, you guys have a great day. Val, thanks for being on,
Thanks for having me.
and we'll see you guys soon. Bye for now.
Bye.